$1 million a month selling on Amazon. For some of you hearing this might sound like a pipe dream, not even real, but let me be honest with you. I thought the same thing until I got there about 3 years ago now, when we got our first $1 million a month on Amazon. In this video, I'm gonna teach you exactly what we did to get from 100K to $1 million a month. It took us about 2 years to get there, to be fair. There was a lot of lessons learned along the way, and I'm gonna pass that on to you. So this video is really geared towards those of you who are maybe around that 50 to 100K mark looking to get to $1 million. If you're a newer seller, yeah, you can still learn a lot from it, but some of it might be a little too advanced. I'll link part 1 of the video where I talk about how to get to 100K a month. And if you look on the channel, you have a bunch of other videos just going through like all of the starter stuff, but this is focused on those guys that really want to change this game. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe bell. On this channel, we go over everything A to Z you need to know about growing and scaling an Amazon FBA business. If you don't know who I am, my name is Mar. I welcome you to the channel, and let's get to it. The $1 million month. This is, man, I love this. This was one of the most exciting times of my life, get into this number, because this is a number that I didn't think, you know, when you really think about it, how many people, like, I think the number is like 0.1% of businesses get to $1 million a month. So this was like foreign to me. Like, there are, I think, more doctors on this planet than businesses that have $1 million a month. So I think so. This is rare territory. It's exciting. And these are the 4 things that you need to know to get to this $1 million a month. And at the end, I'm going to give you some things that are actually the security blanket. Because when you get to a business of that size, you have to make sure that you are safe, right? And I'll tell you about some of the times we had an account shut down, the fear, how much money we lost. I'll go into all that in this video. All right, let's get to it. Number 1, what you need to make sure that you are doing is maximize your suppliers. If you have gotten to 100K a month, let's say you have a catalog, right? Your supply is a catalog, 1,000 items on it, right? And you've exhausted that catalog. You have spent all the money you possibly can with that supplier, and that equates to maybe you spend like, let's just say you spend like 30 grand a month with the supplier, with supplier 1. Now, what people often think is, okay, cool, I'm maxed out on the supplier, let me go get another one. And while that is a great way to go about it, one of the easiest things that you can do if you are spending 30 grand a month with that supplier is start actually leveraging that. You're spending consistent money with them. They believe in you now. They know you're a real player. So you want to go and do negotiate. And that can come in the form of either like a slight discount, could be like as small as a 2% discount. That could probably add like 4% to your margin on a 2% discount, right? It matters a lot. So you can ask for a discount. You can ask for net terms. You can let them know, hey, look, I would love net terms. I pay you on time. Can I, have 30-day net terms? 30-day net terms are huge, meaning you don't need to pay for the product for 30 days out. Now you can order probably double what you were ordering before, right? Because you don't have to pay for it up front. Like, you have the capital for one order, you order a second order of some different products, and your capital can now, you have more free flowing capital because you get net 30 or net 60, right? Because I don't gotta pay for orders for 2 months. I already sold out, got my money back, got the profit, now I'm paying it off. It's house money at that point. But this is what more important than anything else. And this is why before you wanna go look for another supplier is you wanna start asking a supplier for brands. So let's just say your beauty brand one, you have 2, 3, 4. So you have 5 beauty brands. You've exhausted this list over here. The thing is, that's all a supplier currently has, but a supplier has access to more products. You just have to tell them what you want. So one of the easiest triggers to pull, you do something called a mock PO, meaning like you tell them what brands you want, you tell them what quantity you can buy in each brand and what price you need it at. So it's product, price, quantity. And you would do this for product 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to do it for like 100 products. It takes a little while, but the thing is that if they can't get one, like if they can't get 100, they probably can get like 20 of them. And right there, without building a new relationship, I'm able to expand their relationship with that supplier, which brings me back up to over here. Now, just because I'm using that same supplier, I'm now going from 30K to maybe 60K a month with them, or 90K a month, which opens up the door, bringing us back over here to the net terms. Forgive my drawings, this is how I think, all over the place. You're able to spend more with them. Now you have more leverage to negotiate better terms and better pricing. Just by expanding your catalog and having them do the work for you and find you new brands, you're growing your catalog without building new relationships. You're leveraging your current relationship to not only buy more brands from them, but to get better terms from them and to negotiate better pricing from them. This is how you win. Number 2, back up, the reinforcements, right? Why is this important when getting to a $1 million a month? Is, let's just say that there was a brand that we could buy, it was a pet brand. We could spend $180,000 a month. But what would happen so often is we would not get $180,000 worth of inventory. So we'll always go out of stock on our winners. And at first you're like, all right, cool. And we're like, no, that's not okay. This is a winning product. We cannot go out of stock. So what we did was we have back backup suppliers. These are suppliers that maybe don't have the best pricing. Your main supplier is gonna have the best pricing, best terms, whatever it may be, but the backup supplier is gonna have still profitable pricing. You can order more units. So we would have these backup suppliers on deck, so in case something was missing from supplier number one, like out of stock or something, we go to our backup supplier and fill in the stock. It secures the business first and foremost, because if that supply is out of stock or goes out of business or something, you're not losing a whole ton of inventory that you were spending money with them. You have these backup options. So we always keep backup supplies. And going back to, if you didn't see video one, make sure you check that one out. But in video one, we talk about utilizing one category, focusing on one category. And I'm gonna break that rule in a bit, and I'll tell you why I'm gonna break it. But when we're utilizing and focusing on one category, this is when this is not hard, because let's just say we started this focusing on just beauty brands, and we got to 100K focus on just beauty brands. We're gonna have more than one beauty supplier, and they should carry similar products or have access to similar products. So we should always have backup suppliers, but not just keep them there. Don't keep them like idle. Spend a little money with them. Like my partner Tay, he's very good at this. When we had like 4 beauty supplies, we would just toss them orders. It might not be the most profitable order. We could have got a better rate from somebody else, but we would toss them a little 3, 5K order just to keep them in the mix, just to make sure, hey, remember us, right? So when we go to them for these bigger orders, we're not coming in as like foreign. So we would spread out, we would have our primary supplies that we spend the most money on, and the backup ones that we spend a little bit. It would be literally as common as it is. It would be 80-90% of the spend with the main, and then 10 to 20% with backup every month. We made sure we stayed in stock with our winners by having backup supplies for all of our main products that were selling fastest with the most profitability. Let me know in the comments, do you have any backup supplies, or are you like a one-legged stool? Like if one of your supplies go missing, your whole business is crashing and tumbling down. Like, do not let that be the case. Backup supplies, always. Let's get to it. Number 3, this is what the rule I said I was gonna break. Because in video 1, when we get to 100K, I said focus on one category. We need multiple categories. Now you only do this after you have maxed out these other things, right? We started with maximizing our supplies. We have to maximize what we already took all of our time, energy, attention, money to build, right? We maximize with suppliers. Once we have that, and we have our backup suppliers in motion, now you have to have multiple categories, right? Let's say you can get to, like, I remember in beauty, when I got to about 300K a month in sales in beauty, I was like, dude, I'm not really seeing the avenue here. And I think, honestly, to be fair, there were certain things that I could have done to actually raise, and then I was just a noob. I was early in the business, so I didn't see it. But easy jump for me was to set up a little team that their whole focus was just pets. And their whole focus was just push pets. And then boom, we were able to do 600K a month in just pets, because I just put a team in place to get that done. I wasn't the one doing it, but I put a team in place to get it done. And that's when, once you have maximized what you can do in a certain category, now you already have your systems in place, your reorders are smooth, everything is flying. Get another category. 2 categories, you can get to $1 million a month in 2 categories. 3 categories, you can definitely 100% get to $1 million a month. It's not a lot when you think about it. Like, this is the mindset part of this shit. Amazon does $1.6 billion per day, and you telling me you can't get a measly 1 million of that, like what they sell in an hour or under an hour, you can't get that in a month? Just be okay with understanding that it's possible. It's just, we got to get this part down first. Multiple categories. Categories I recommend, same ones as the last video: grocery, pet, beauty, tools, health. Sports is actually good. I didn't mention sports in the last one, but sports has a lot of potential. Garden. Only one I'm gonna say, other than the ones I said to stay away from, which is electronics, jewelry, clothing, sneakers. When you get to a certain level, grocery becomes a little funny. Like, you can go into grocery, but you're gonna have to start jumping into like national distribution or brand direct. And we'll talk a little more about brand direct in a second. Just because grocery is such a low barrier to entry, you run into a lot of like lower margins a lot of the time, because there's so many like retail arbitrage sellers, brand new sellers in that category. It can get a little daunting, but once you are able to go to national distribution, which we talked about in the last video, or brand direct, that's when you can just secure yourself within that. So still here because it still works, but just something to think about as you move forward. Let's go on to number 4, and then I'm gonna go into like the security measures, right? After this is the 4th thing that you need to make sure you're doing. Now, in video 1, we spoke about team building. In this video, we have to talk about team structure. They're 2 different things. Where when you want to get to 100K a month, you are trying to replicate yourself, right? You're just replicating what you do. You're gonna have your team that literally can do like your prepping and all of that. Like, of course, the warehouse is something separate. You need like a team, or you need a prep center. But when you talk about $1 million a month, you need a good team structure. You need a team. Like, let's go into what the team structure should be. Something I did not learn until 2023, so 3 years into the business, so forgive me for being late to the party. So you want a team just for sourcing, right? This is a team that's just finding products, finding supplies, making your reorders. They're like keeping that in motion. You want a team for account help, account management. Let's put them account management. So they're going to be working on your appeals, any IP complaints. If you have a Section 3, you're going to work about your buyer-seller messaging, like your profit and loss statements. All of the nitty-gritty on the day-to-day operations to make sure the business is profitable and functional is account management team. Of course, you have your warehouse team. You either do it yourself, which I don't recommend, or you use a 3PL. Well, actually, when you get to pushing like 300, 400K, it might make sense to in-house it, but it just depends. You're going to be a little less profitable if you outsource it, but you can negotiate with them. So you can negotiate with them to get a good rate. But warehousing is something you need a team for warehousing. So you have your sourcing team, your account management team, your warehouse team, right? This is super important. And the last one you want is just your finance. Now, finance doesn't need a whole team. You can have a bookkeeper or maybe 1 or 2 people to making sure your finances are in order. When you're scaling to this, you do not need gaps in your system in terms of your money, right? It can cause a shit ton of confusion. Like, are you profitable? Are you not profitable? Are you losing money here? Where are your reorders? Like, all these little things. Finance team is like, this is when it becomes really, really important because there's so many moving pieces in a business of this size. Sourcing team, account management team, warehouse team, finance team. In an ideal situation, how I would do this, finance would have 1 to 2 seats. Account management would probably have 2 people. Warehouse, you probably only need 2 to 3 people. Realistically, we've done $1 million months with 2 people, right? And it sounds crazy, but you just need some A players. And sourcing team, I would have 3. So this is all the staff you need. You need 3 sourcing, 2 account management, 2 to 3 warehouse, and 1 to 2 finance. You can get away with 1 finance as long as they're really good. And obviously, the better your staff is, the less people you need, but this is what I would recommend for it. Now, it's not a big team. If you're talking about virtual assistants, each of these people might cost you $2 to $4. Now, let's just do some math. You got 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 2 is $16 an hour in terms of your cost, times 40. I don't even know what that math is. Let me just get on my calculator. So you're paying $640 a week. It's not bad. I'm sorry, your warehouse guys are gonna cost more. I made a quick mistake. Let's correct that actually. Let's not leave that there. So in terms of your VA team, you have 6 people, 6 times 3, so 6 times, let's just say $3 an hour, which is a little high. 18 times 40. Okay, $720. And then you have your warehouse team over there that might, depending on what state you're in, it could be $10, $15 an hour. And what you want is one of these people to be a manager, right? You want to only talk to the manager of the team, if ideally speaking. This is so important because it can get overwhelming when you have all these different people to talk to. You want one of these people to be a manager where they have KPIs. So your sourcing team, you're going to have a KPI where you'll say, okay, you have to get, for us to do $1 million, we have to get, let's say $250 a week. So we have to be spending upwards of like 100 to 125K per week, right? In terms of inventory coming in. Your sourcing team has that KPI, it's their job to deliver. Your account management team, all IP complaints, all buyer seller messages I handle on time. Every week I have a P&L updated with any inventory that is not selling so that I have a liquidation plan or all these shit. I could go all day into this. But you want a manager who handles each department and provides you with reports of everything so you can do high level overviews of everything. Now, if you're just by yourself, the team is gonna need you a lot when you're ramping up, and that's fine, but you just don't want to be talking to everyone while you're getting into this. Last thing I really want to hone on here is you want A players. One of the biggest mistakes I see new people is they look at getting a B or C player because they think it's cheaper. I will talk about just our business, and Tay might kill me for talking about this, but I handle a lot of our front end sales and marketing. He handles a lot of operations. My team is a quarter of his size. I like A players, right? They need less management. You give them a goal and they run towards the goal. When you have great people on your team, you're able to give them a goal and they can execute. You do not need to be the smartest person in your team anymore. When you get B and C players, they're always looking for direction. They have a brain, but they don't use it. Just tell me what to do. That yes, it boosts your ego because they're relying on you, but dude, literally, if you want to grow a business, you want people smarter than you in their given position. Then you want people that are better at account management than you, better at sourcing than you, better at warehouse, better at finance. Your job is to guide the ship, and team structure is so freaking important when it comes to this. I can't hone on this enough, right? Let's talk about freaking security. This is freaking important. As we scale to $1 million month, we had an account shut down one time, and it was shut down for a week. During that week, we have staff members, right? We have our own money that we need for livelihood. We probably lost around 80 grand in terms of cash flow coming in. Not to mention our inventory was tied up, inventory at Amazon, it was scary. And I'll kind of go into why we got shut down. We were buying products from Korea, and Amazon hates non-US invoices. So when you buy outside the country, you're taking an inherent risk. One that we were willing to take at the time, just being rookies. And Amazon ended up not accepting our invoices. and we got shut down. The company complained it was counterfeit. We had to actually get a lawyer to reach out to them, spend about a week contacting them, like, dude, we're gonna sue the shit out of you if you don't open our account right now, because you are like, and we were gonna sue them for like 80 grand. And they finally opened our account and let us sell through, and we ended up not moving forward with the legal action because it would have cost us more money, honestly, to do that. But it was scary. And the thing about it, what we learned is that you have to, if you're playing on another person's platform, any business you have that operates on another person's platform, you need to be safe. I don't care if you have a TikTok business, Shopify, I don't care if you do Airbnb, I don't care what it is. You will need to make sure you're safe. So how do you make sure you're safe? One thing you want to do is you want to have multiple accounts, right? Amazon does not like when you have multiple accounts that sell the same products, so don't list the same products. That's an automatic red flag. You will get kicked off. But you want to have multiple accounts set up. What we do even nowadays is we divvy up our sales. So let's just say we have $1 million a month. We'll have one account doing 300K, one at 200K, one at 100K, 500K. I can't count, right? This is a little over $1 million. But anyway, we split it up, right? Because if one account gets down, yeah, it hurts, but it doesn't kill everything. When we were doing that, we had one account that once it went down, everything was dead. We don't want that. So we split up our accounts, different LLCs, different locations, all of these things, just to keep everything separate, right? And keep us safe. It lets you sleep, peace of mind at night. It's so important, right? You just want to keep everything separate. Now, the other thing about this is other marketplaces, right? What you want to do as you scale your business on security and you get to this $1 million a month, which let me know if you get there. I want to talk, right? Because you are one of the few, right? Like when we hit that, I think we were like a top 1,000 store in the US. I think we were like 800, ranked 800 the first time we got that. I think right now we're ranked a little less because we like split up our stores, but whatever it may be. Anyway, other marketplaces. So you want to make sure you have your Walmart up. You want to make sure you have your eBay up. You want to make sure you have a TikTok seller account. You want to make sure you have Amazon Canada, Amazon Mexico, Amazon UK, right? And you want to have some sales going on all these platforms, right? Especially Walmart. Walmart will be the number one. That's the closest one to Amazon right now. If I had to just pick some of these, because you might be like, oh shit, which one do I hit first? I would get them all open, but I would focus on Walmart, Amazon Canada, and Amazon Mexico. Right, those are the three I would definitely have open without a doubt. And you want those because you want offload channels. If something happens to your account, you want to be safe as hell. You want other offload channels. I remember one time we had a beauty brand and we spent about 70 grand on this order and we didn't have our offload channels up, and Amazon shut down that brand on Amazon, and we had 70 grand of inventory come into our warehouse. And we're like, shit, do we just reach out to a supplier and say take it back? But after sitting down, racking our brains for a little bit, we're like, dude, let's just sell it on Walmart. And we ended up making more money per sale. It took longer to sell, but we made more money per sale on Walmart. And that's what sparked us to say, cool, let's have Walmart singing in the background 50, 100K a month so that we have money coming in from here, and if we ever have to make pivot, we're flexible. So splitting up your accounts, different Amazon accounts, when you get to that level, great. Having other marketplaces account, great. Build security, build a moat for your business. And the last thing before I wrap this up is one thing we mentioned in the first video, but I think it's super duper duper important, is brand direct deals. Now, if you are spending, right, 100, 200, 300K with a brand, right? And you're going through a distributor, you can go to that brand and say, look how much money I'm spending with you. I can do this for your brand. Right? You have to go to them with a pitch, right? And this is why you don't do it too early. And one of the craziest mistakes I see is people think they're gonna go to like Procter & Gamble with $300 and they're gonna get the best price and they'll make money. Like, are you stupid? Like, literally, like, I'm sorry, but are you stupid? Procter & Gamble was too freaking big for you. But if I was spending $400,000 on Colgate or one of their products, now we could play some ball, because the sales rep is gonna be like, oh shit, like, you're spending some money, let's see what we could do. But it's not just about the money. You wanna have a history of selling the brand, have money spent on the brand, but you also want to pitch them what their competitors are doing that they're not doing. How can you improve the brand listing? So you might say, hey, your photos suck. I can improve your photos. You might say your PPC, if you know PPC, sucks. Your SEO, the way your listing is created, sucks. Your storefront sucks. Your competitors making this much money because they have this. And once you can pitch all of these different options to them, like, okay, cool, I see it now. Like, you can do a lot. You can spend money with me. You can impact a lot. Like, I had a student, and it's a couple, and when they joined our program last June, they're brand new, they know shit, and they ended up doing about 54 grand in month one, 68 grand in month two, and it just scaled up. They scaled up super duper quick, right? And we're launching a private label brand with them in the next week, but that's besides the point. What they ended up doing is they're like, all right, we already know we could spend some money. They had about 150 to 200K in capital available, credit. And what they did is they went directly to brands. They went to a trade show, directly to brands, and they started pitching these brands on what they can change. Now, they didn't follow the exact framework that we teach, because they just were gung-ho about it. And they didn't pitch exactly what they could do for the brand. So we had to retroactively come back and do pitch decks for the brand. But And what you want to do is have the pitch deck ahead of time when you reach out to the brand, so you can show them, hey, this is what I can change for your brand. And that is what increases the likelihood of you getting these brand direct deals. And when you have a brand direct deal with a good contract in place, you're locked in. Like the brand direct deals that we have now, we put stipulations where if we hit certain revenues for the year, they have to extend our contract another 2 or 3 years. And we put that in there because the one thing you don't want to do is create all of this value for a brand by changing up everything and then they just take it back. Like, dude, I'm good on you. I'm going to just do this myself, because you put a lot of work into it. So always have a contract that has stipulations in it that allows for contractual renewals if you hit certain goals. It keeps pressure on you, makes the brand happy, and you guys can grow together. But yeah, I don't know how long this video was. Hopefully it wasn't too freaking long, but I really hope it helped. I really hope it helped. If it did, let me know in the comments. I'll keep making videos like this to help you guys scale up. And I'll also leave links down below. If you guys want to, get started, I'll have the starter course down below. We do certain events and webinars and stuff. I'll leave the links down below for that as well. If you want to apply for our mentorship program, I'll leave the link there as well. We take about 5 to 8 people a month and just run, scale up and stuff super quick with sales guarantees. Or if you're a current Amazon seller and you want us to help you build out your actual systems for your business, like the CRM, the workflow, all of that, I'll leave a link for that below as well too, where you could just see if we can help you just build out teams and everything and do exactly what we're talking about in these past 2 videos to help you just scale up. So hope it helped. See you later.